Hey, how's it going? This is Eric. I am the Barmy Farmer at the Garden of Apologies. Bear with me a little bit. I've got a couple kittens on my lap here. This is Igor, and I've got Marmalade. So we're outside right now at the Garden of Apologies, and welcome to Pepper School. Here we go. So what we have on the list for today, there's a Cajun Belle pepper. I have a Kalugeritsa. Here is a black Hungarian, Buena Mulata Cayenne, Gong, and a classic pepper, the Sugar Rush Peach. So, let's run through the peppers here. Let me first kick the cats off my lap. Sorry, guys. I need the space here. Oh, Igor's fallen. Igor's fallen. Here. You can go there. Marmalade goes here. Awesome. Okay. So the first pepper we've got today is the Cajun Belle. So, I've got my pepper notes here. So Cajun Belle, it's an American annuum pepper. It's been around since about 2010. And this is the first time I've grown it this year. It runs about 500 to about 4,000 Scoville heat units. And I got mine from Bonnie's Plants. So this is being Cajun Belle, this is a bell pepper that has picked up a bit of spice. So this is what we're looking at here. Let's slice it open so you see what we've got. Inside of the pod, ow, got a cat on my back. Looks very much like a bell pepper here, and nice little bundle of seeds. So I can save the seeds for later. Chop off a little piece of it here. Here we go, Cajun Belle. And there it is. So it tastes like a red bell pepper. Sorry, cat on the keyboard here. It's a bit of a underlying sting to it. It's a nice mild pepper. I like it. I can see this as being a thickening pepper. So instead of using things like tapioca starch or xanthan gum or agar, throw some of this in there. It's like I'd say a better version of something like a Hungarian wax pepper. Awesome. Okay, pepper 2. Let's go down to the Kalugeritsa. This pepper, a gentleman named Steve Newman has traveled around and found a bunch of peppers. This came from a village in North Macedonia, a village called Kalugeritsa. It's a mild sweet pepper. And there's Marmalade. So, mild sweet pepper. It runs about 3,000 to about 10,000 Scoville heat units. I got my seeds from Baker Creek. So they're particularly nice. Let me just carve into this and see what we've got. So, we've been through a few of these here already. It's a lovely pepper. Yeah. Thank you, Marmalade. But nice thick walls on it. Really good juicy pith there. Let's see what I got here on the pith. Hello, Igor. No, you don't want the peppers. Nice big batch of seeds in there. These are keepers. Let me just tear off a hunk of pepper, and I'll tell you how we're doing. There we go. So, Igor here. Hey, bud. How you feeling? Do you want some pepper? I didn't think so. So, seeds out. No heat in the seeds anyway. That's an old wives' tale, regardless of the age of your wife. The heat appears to be in the seeds, but it actually comes from the pith and the membrane around. I'm saying that as I'm gathering up the seeds here, so I've got them set aside carefully. So, the Kalugeritsa. It's a nice sweet fruitiness to it. Hint of a cherry to the flavor. Again, nice, very nice fruity pepper. It's got the red bell pepper flavor that you might expect. And a bit of a kick. Ow! Cat on my leg. All summer long, there's a cat on my leg. Right, so those are our first two peppers. On to pepper three. There we go. Pepper three from Pepper School. This is a black Hungarian. Obviously, it's a Hungarian pepper. The plants come out nice with a dark purple foliage on them. The pods come out with a, you can see the remnants of the dark purple there, and then they ripen through to this nice cherry red. It's an annuum pepper. We've done nothing but annuums so far today, and I got my seeds for this from Baker Creek. Slice her open, and see, it's like a thin-walled jalapeno in there. Again, trying to save as many seeds as possible. The actual pods, the production pods, I'll slice them and throw them into a pot. The test pods, these get sliced. They may get dried. They won't get used right away, but I can get some seeds out of them. And here comes the black Hungarian. There we are. That's a very nice pepper. I grew these last year, which is why I hit up Baker Creek and ordered another batch of seeds for this year. So I had a single plant last year, and it was a good snacking pepper. Somewhere around the jalapeno heat level, just pop them off the plant, have those when I'm having the beans and the cherry tomatoes and the peas and the ground cherries from the garden. So lovely pepper. Again, a bit of a black cherry hint to it and some smokiness. Oh, see Marmalade's over there trying to get the doorknob. Funny cats. All cats are weird, just for different reasons. Next up today, another lovely purple pepper, another annuum. So this is a Buena Mulata Cayenne. It's got a deep cherry red to it now, a hint of a poppy red up around the stem and the calyx. But these come out with a dark purple foliage and purple pods, then much like the black Hungarian, ripen through here. So this was another American pepper. The seeds were saved. It's an heirloom cultivar, one of the many seeds saved by Horace Pippin back in the 1920s. He was a folk musician and a civil rights activist who also saved a lot of seeds, and he's responsible for things like the fish pepper as well. So, as legend has it, these seeds were lost in somebody's basement in a baby food jar for about a generation. And someone found them with the Horace Pippin reference, and the Buena Mulata came back. So it's cayenne. It runs about 30 to 50,000 Scoville heat units. And with many of these purple plants that ripen into the red, it's got a smoky, dark cherry kind of flavor. And inside, it looks like a cayenne. There we go. It's thin and veiny, so the pith runs the full length of the pepper with, instead of a cluster of seeds up at the top that you see on things like a bell pepper, you have seeds that run the full length of it. Dang it. Dropping my knife. Now I'm going to have to eat dirt from the ground. But it's summertime. I eat plenty of dirt from the ground. Washing vegetables is a grocery kind of store kind of thing. When you're growing organic vegetables out here, you can just eat them out of the garden. So here we go again with the Buena Mulata. Grew this last year. It was a lovely pepper. I've got a bunch more for this year. So a good chunk from the end. Sweetness right there. There comes the heat. So it's the hottest the peppers I've had so far today. It's very, very peppery on the back end with a bit of a perfumey flavor. So a little floral, a little perfumey on the back, but the front end, which is often my reaction, just the immediate tropical fruit flavor and the sweetness. So Buena Mulata, it is one of my favorite cayenne peppers. It's up there with the Ho Chi Minh. That is a fantastic pepper as well. Okay, I'm going to have a little sip of water just to adjust the heat on this. There we go. Spread that capsaicin oil around. You think that water makes it better. It doesn't. It doesn't. But it helps wash down the peppers as you're eating fresh produce on camera. So we'll jump back a little bit here. for a Gong Bao, also known as a Kung Pao. This is originally a Thai pepper that has been bred down to a particular cultivar that I don't know if it came before the Kung Pao chicken or Gong Bao, alternate spelling, alternate pronunciation, but the pepper is now used for Kung Pao. So whichever came first, chicken, egg, Kung Pao, pepper, or the meal, we now have a pepper that shares a name with the meal. This being another very thin pepper, I haven't sliced one of these open in a few years. I grew these back in 2016 with the Garden of Apologies in Burlington when I was still doing the backyard bucket brigade. But this is the first time I've grown them out here in Mapleton. And as you expect with a very thin pod like this, slice it open, it's got the veins and the pith that run the full length of the pepper, much like the cayenne before it. Just a few seeds in there. So we have to be very careful to save these. And flavor-wise, let's see what we have. Oh, and there's a seed right in the end. I'll pull that out and save it. Seeds are better for growing than for eating. So, okay. So we get immediate sweetness there. It's a slight grassy flavor that you get from the green peppers. And, okay, here comes the heat. Nice pepper. It's, again, a bit of sweetness. Not a lot of differentiator in the flavor between a few of the pods I've had today. The darker ones do have a bit more of that smokiness in the black cherry. This is just, it's fresh. It's slightly reminiscent of a bell pepper, but it does have that nice sweetness and then that underlying heat. The last pepper that I'm going to run through today on our inaugural episode of Pepper School with the Garden of Apologies. This is the classic pepper, developed by Chris Fowler of Welsh Dragon Chilies up in Wales, of all places. It's a baccatum, so a South American ají pepper, related to the ají mango and ají limon and all of those wonderful South American peppers. But this has been bred out for sweetness and increased heat. Most of the baccatums I have run about 10,000 to 30,000 Scoville heat units. And this bad boy right here runs about 50,000 to 100,000. So the Sugar Rush Peach is a good deal hotter than the regular baccatum. But with the Sugar Rush, you know it's got that great flavor. This may be the perfect pepper. It's got a respectable enough heat at a regular cayenne level, so the 50 to 100,000. It's got a terrific flavor. It grows very well in a Canadian climate. Because most of the ají peppers, most of the baccatums, are from South America. So they're equidistant from the equator that we are here, just on the other side. So if you fold the map in half, we're friends. So they love our climate here in Canada. They tend to grow with a lot of productivity. I've gotten hundreds of pods per plant before. So, without further ado, the Sugar Rush Peach. I've been growing these for a few years now. So I've got the seeds from the Garden of Apologies seed bank. Blast her open. And this is the first baccatum we have. Everything else has been an annuum. But as you see, it's a common theme we get with pods that have this shape. That we have the thin vein that runs down the center of pith and a smattering of seeds. So, let's talk about flavor on this one. Nice chunk of pepper. And you may ask why I'm eating a chunk of pepper rather than the whole thing. Well, first off, that's a whole lot of pepper to be eating and to be talking. And it's far too rude to be talking with my mouth full. So I won't be doing that. Also, I find that as a sauce crafter, it's more useful for me to eat a small piece of the pepper than the whole bit. Not only does it save me some of the pepper that I can use for ingredient, it saves me the seeds I can also put into the Garden of Apologies seed bank. But eating a small piece of the pepper allows me to feel the nuance, and I get the taste, the underlying flavors. I can get the elements and then the flavor pairings that come together with those elements. If I eat the entire pepper, I get the flash of flavor, and then I just get the overwhelming heat. So to avoid lighting myself up enough that I miss the flavor, I'm just having the piece. There, that's my rational explanation for the Sugar Rush peach. Mm. Oh yeah. There it is. That is the Sugar Rush peach. Man, what a terrific pepper. So there's a kind of a sweet juiciness on the first bite. It being a nice thick-walled, crunchy pepper. I don't know if you heard the crunch there, but it did crunch nicely with a lot of juice. The first flavor was reminiscent of pineapple. So the peach is a reference to the color rather than the flavor. So I had a hint of the pineapple there. Maybe there's an ahi pineapple somewhere in the lineage uh, of how this came together. But that initial sweetness and the juiciness, that pineapple tropical flavor, and then the heat came through with a bit of a sinus release as a second wave. So there we go. That's our first episode of Pepper School. If you're growing at home, these are 6 really good peppers that uh, this season have been the first to produce here in the Garden of Apologies. And please watch, please like, follow, subscribe, all those things so you can find out more about the peppers, more about Pepper School, and the 102 varieties in the 2023 Canadian Garden of Apologies. So 2023, this year, 102 varieties. Please keep watching. These are the first 6. That tells me I've got about 96 of them left to go. I should be pointing at you with a knife, but we're on camera, so you are safe. I will not stab you. This has been Pepper School. Those are the peppers. Thank you very much for watching. And let's stop.